Ever feel like you're just constantly juggling, a dozen different things? Or maybe just drowning in information?
Oh, definitely. It's so easy to get swept up.
Yeah, and you're always searching for some clarity, maybe a bit of peace. What if there was like a guide, maybe even a shortcut to navigate all this complexity?
A shortcut to inner calm. Sounds good.
Right. Well, that's what we're doing today. We're diving deep into this really ancient text, the Araṇavibhaṅgasuttaṃ.
The analysis of the undefiled, or the peaceful path. Even the name sounds promising.
Exactly. And our mission, really, is to pull out that timeless wisdom on how to handle life, our words, even our thoughts, in a way that brings genuine peace and helps us avoid that unnecessary suffering.
It's about being undefiled, as the title says. A non-afflicted way of being.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The sutta starts with a really core teaching. There are these two extremes we need to avoid for a truly beneficial life. The first one is what the text calls sensual pleasure. The Pali is kamasukhamana yoga.
And it sounds appealing, right? Sensual pleasure.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the text is quite blunt. It calls this path low, vulgar, worldly, ignoble, and unbeneficial.
Doesn't mince words.
Not at all. It says this path is inherently associated with suffering, harmful, distress, feverish, and a wrong practice. It's like a path that looks nice, but is actually, well, rough terrain.
Full of pitfalls.
And then there's the second extreme, self-mortification, yoga.
The complete opposite, you'd think. Austerity denial.
Exactly. But the text lumps it in the same category to avoid. It calls it painful, ignoble, and unbeneficial.
And it carries those same warnings: suffering, harm, distress, feverishness, wrong practice.
So whether it's chasing every pleasure or, extreme self-denial, neither one gets you there.
And what's fascinating here is the text doesn't just point out the problems. Right after describing these dead ends, it offers the alternative, the middle path. Majjhima Nikāya.
Ah, the famous middle path.
Yes, and it says this path was awakened by the Tathagata, the Buddha, and the result. It leads to vision, knowledge, tranquility, supernormal knowledge, awakening, and nibbana.
Nibbana, the cessation of suffering itself.
Precisely. The insight is that real freedom isn't found in chasing highs or punishing ourselves. It's this path of awareness, of understanding.
Transcending both craving and aversion.
Exactly. And specifically, this middle path is the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration.
That's a whole framework.
A very practical, integrated framework for living that undefiled life we mentioned.
So what this boils down to then is that this middle path is inherently araṇa. It's undefiled, peaceful, unburdened.
Right, whereas the extremes are saraṇa, afflicted, tangled up in suffering, leading to turmoil.
It's like having an inner compass, really, pointing towards araṇa, away from saraṇa.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so if the middle path is about living undefiled, how does that play out in, our everyday interactions, especially our words? It's so easy to slip into judgment when we talk about other people.
It really is, and the text tackles this head-on.
It talks about this pitfall of praising husana and blaming abosara.
Making sweeping judgments.
Yeah, like saying, all those people chasing pleasure are suffering and doing it wrong. That's blaming everyone.
Or the opposite, everyone not chasing pleasure is totally fine, no suffering, universal praise.
Right. And it applies the same logic to self-mortification or even judging people based on whether their fetter of existence, avasanyashana, is abandoned or not.
Judging the person, not the action or the state.
Yeah, this tendency to label individuals. The text warns against that.
And this raises a really important point. Why is that way of speaking considered saraṇa, afflicted?
Good question. What's the deeper issue?
It's because it shifts the focus from objective truth, from the Dhamma, onto judging the individual. When we do that, we actually create rigidity in our own minds.
Ah, interesting. We get locked into a fixed view.
Exactly. We stop seeing the conditional nature of things and just see the label we've applied to the person. It blinds us.
So what's the skillful way, the araṇa way?
The undefiled approach is to talk about the nature of the action or the state itself, impersonally.
Okay, so instead of all those people devoted to pleasure are suffering,
you'd say devotion to sensual pleasure is suffering, harmful, distressed, feverish, and a wrong practice. See the difference?
Yeah, it takes the personal judgment out. It's about the principle.
Right. Or instead of everyone whose fetter of existence isn't abandoned is suffering.
You'd say,
when the fetter of existence is not abandoned, existence itself is not abandoned. It describes the consequence impersonally.
That's a statement of truth, the Dhamma, not a condemnation.
Precisely. It's a much more skillful and ultimately more compassionate way to communicate.
That distinction is huge. But what fuels that urge to judge or even to fall into those extremes in the first place? Often it's probably our ideas about happiness.
Absolutely. Our assumptions about what actually brings contentment. And this text really digs into that.
It challenges what we think happiness is. We often chase what it calls worldly sensual pleasure, kamasuka.
The usual stuff.
Yeah, the pleasure from sight, sounds, smells, tastes, touch things that feel good, look nice, or exciting, connected with sensuality.
It's basically feeding the senses, the external gratification hunt.
But then comes the warning.
Yes, and it's a strong one. This worldly pleasure is explicitly called filthy pleasure, ignoble pleasure.
Wow, strong language.
Very. And it continues. It should not be cultivated, not be developed, not be frequently practiced. One should be afraid of this pleasure.
Afraid of pleasure. That sounds counterintuitive.
It means be wary of this kind of pleasure. Because it's saraṇa, afflicted, ultimately tangled with suffering. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket,
Yeah.
Fleeting satisfaction, never truly full.
Okay, so if that's the don't do this part, what's the alternative?
Right. It doesn't just leave you hanging. It points to a totally different kind of happiness. Renunciation pleasure, nekkamasuka, and these states called meditative absorptions, or jhanas.
Renunciation pleasure. Sounds less fun.
Well, it's described as seclusion pleasure, tranquility pleasure, awakening pleasure. It's an inner source. Think of the first jhana. It arises from seclusion, there's focus, rapture, pleasure, but it's born from letting go, not grasping.
Ah, okay. An internal joy.
Exactly. And as you go deeper into the second, third, fourth jhanas, it's like shedding layers of mental noise. You find this profound inner stillness and equanimity that isn't dependent on external things at all. Pleasure and pain are transcended.
Like reaching a mountain peak. Pure awareness.
A good analogy. And this kind of inner cultivation, this deep internal satisfaction.
This is the one to cultivate.
Yes. The text says it should be cultivated, developed, frequently practiced. One should not be afraid of this pleasure. This is the aranta happiness, undefiled, leading to lasting well-being.
So a shifting focus from chasing the external fix to cultivating internal peace.
That's the core of it. A radical redefinition of happiness, really. Building an unshakable inner foundation.
Okay, so we've got the extremes, the middle path, how to talk about actions versus people, and different kinds of happiness. Seems like communication keeps coming up.
It's central. How we interact, how we use words.
Let's dig into the practicalities then. The text talks about private speech, rahuvada. What are the rules there?
Well, the saraṇa, or afflicted way, is speaking privately if it's untrue, false, unbeneficial, or just for your own selfish gain. Pretty straightforward.
Makes sense. Don't lie or gossip for your own benefit.
Right. But here's the nuance. Even if something is true and factual, if it's unbeneficial.
Unbeneficial even if true.
Yes. One should train oneself not to speak it privately. Truth isn't the only criterion. Benefit matters immensely.
So what's the araṇ, the skillful way?
If it's true, factual, and beneficial, then you should know the right time to say it privately.
Timing and benefit. Crucial.
And these same principles, this careful consideration, apply to public speech too. Sammukha natiketan, speaking in a group.
The same care needed whether it's one-on-one or in front of others.
Exactly. And then there's the pace of speech. Ataramano.
Speak unhurriedly, not hurriedly. I think we can all relate to the problems of rushing our words.
Oh, absolutely. The text says, hurried speech, the saraṇa way, leads to physical fatigue, mental fatigue, strain on your voice.
People don't understand you.
Right. It becomes unclear, unintelligible, like trying to drink from a fire hose, as you said earlier.
Whereas the araṇa way, speaking calmly, unhurriedly,
avoids all that. It allows for clear, intelligible, effective communication. It shows mindfulness.
It really highlights how mindful communication builds understanding, doesn't it? It's not just what we say.
It's how, when, even the pace. It's fundamental for good relationships, avoiding friction. I mean, who hasn't sent an email too quickly and regretted it instantly?
So true. The ancient text saw our modern impatience coming.
Seems like it.
Okay, this next point feels incredibly relevant today. It's about our relationship with language itself.
Yes, how even language can be a source of affliction or peace.
The text points out this trap. Clinging to local dialects, Janapadanurutya Mainavizaya, and transgressing common convention, Samanyanatitavya.
clinging to our way of speaking.
Exactly. It gives this great example. Different regions calling the same thing, like a bowl, by different names. It lists a whole bunch. Pati, pata, piha, sarava, and so on.
Lots of words for bowl.
Right. And the saraṇa problem, the afflicted way, is when someone clings fiercely to their local word. My word for bowl is pati. That's the only true word. All those other words are false.
Insisting their way is the only way.
Yeah. It creates rigid thinking. It's a transgression of just understanding each other. It shuts down communication.
And if you connect that to today, think about online arguments, cultural misunderstandings. How often does it boil down to people rigidly clinging to their definitions or terminology?
All the time. So what's the skillful araṇa approach here?
It's simple, really. Understand that these venerable ones, or these people, use this expression to refer to this. Recognize the local usage.
Acknowledge it.
And use the term yourself without grasping, adapting to the common understanding of the convention just to communicate effectively.
So it's not about saying your word is wrong, but being flexible.
Exactly. Flexibility and empathy. Understanding how others use language without getting dogmatic about your own way. It avoids so much pointless conflict.
Prioritizing clear communication and peace over being linguistically right. That's profound.
It really is. A simple example with deep implications.
Wow. What a journey through this sutta, the Araṇavibhaṅgasuttaṃ. It really maps out this undefiled path, doesn't it? Through our conduct, our communication, how we view happiness, even how we use words.
It's incredibly comprehensive.
And that core distinction between saraṇ, what's afflicted, causes suffering the wrong way, and araṇa, what's undefiled, leads to peace, the right way, that it feels like a really powerful tool.
It really can be a kind of daily discernment filter for our choices, our thoughts, our speech. Does this lead towards araṇa or sakkana?
Cutting through the confusion of what actually helps us.
Exactly. And these aren't just, dusty old philosophical ideas. They feel very immediate, very practical for navigating life today.
They offer a way to cultivate that inner peace, and maybe more peaceful interactions too.
It's about bringing awareness into everything, making conscious choices aligned with peace.
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about this week. How could applying this araṇa, this undefiled approach, to just one part of your daily life, maybe one tricky conversation or one recurring desire, how might that shift your experience?
What might change if you brought this ancient wisdom into that specific situation? Something to explore.